Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Fiorentino. I post weekly videos on beauty, self-help, and just random shit that I think is cool. I do vlogs and stuff occasionally, so welcome to our family. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Today, it's not going to be about beauty, it's not going to be about makeup, it's not going to be about anything that I have ever really talked about on my channel, and if I have talked about it, it's been a long time since I've talked about it. When I first started my channel, I was kind of in a dark place in my life when I started my channel. And if you go back and look, you'll see that I really just put the camera on and started talking about things that I was feeling at the moment. And yeah, so that's why I started my channel. So today we're going to talk about depression, and I'm going to start this series called Real Talk. And the first subject that we're going to talk about is depression. And this is not a subject to be taken lightly. Before I get started on ways to deal with depression, just so you guys know, this is all my opinion. This is not professional advice. This is just what I have learned from my own experiences. So please remember, I am not a medical professional. These are just my opinions, so just keep that in mind. A little backstory on my life. So I'm not going to get too deep into it because I am going to do the Draw My Life tag. I'm just waiting on my husband to be able to help me with that, so that should come sometime in January 2017, so look out for that. I had a pretty difficult childhood. Like I said, I don't want to get too deep into it, but I grew up my entire life only meeting my biological father twice. My mom was addicted to hardcore drugs for like the first 10 years of my life. She's since off of those, but the first 10 years of my life were pretty rough, and because of those things that had happened, I dealt with a lot of the repercussions of those things. We were really poor growing up, like really poor. And when I mean poor, I mean like food stamps and, you know, just barely getting by kind of thing. And I'm not trying to talk bad about, you know, my family or anything, because things are very different now, but that is how it was. So I dealt with a lot of anger and confusion and depression and stuff, especially as a young adult and a teenager. I went through a stage in my life where I was really searching for who I was, and I'm still working on it. I mean, I think as humans we work on those kinds of things every day, you know. I don't know if we ever truly know, you know, what we want. You know, we grow and we change, and that's just how it is. But I think I finally have a grip on, you know, who I am as a human being. I went through a crazy stage of, you know, partying. I mean, my entire high school years were just filled with a lot of partying, and I'm not saying that partying is necessarily a bad thing. It's just, for me, I did it in a very unhealthy way, and I was very young, so those things didn't really help with the fact that I was depressed. Did a lot of things, done almost every drug that you could think of, trying to find, you know, happiness, because those places were unexplored for me, and I wanted to just kind of delve into the curiosity and just figure out if those things were going to help me or not. And obviously, those things, the drugs and the alcohol and stuff, did not help me at all. Actually, they had an extreme adverse effect. And when I say extreme, I mean extreme. And I won't get too deep into that, but basically, after I had my son and I went through all my, you know, wild years and stuff, I was not doing the drugs or the alcohol or anything. I mean, occasionally I have a drink. Please don't think that I don't drink occasionally, because I do. But it's nothing like what it used to be. I don't do it to escape now like I did before. So I tried everything in the book to try and find what would work for me and what could make me happy. And after I had my son, I was still dealing with the depression, and obviously I couldn't, you know, be doing the kinds of things that I was doing before to try and find that happiness. So long story short, I've done therapy, I've taken prescription medication for depression, you know, I've done pretty much everything that you could do to try and fix it, and I thought, you know what? All of those things were kind of out of my control. I mean, obviously I made the choice to take the drugs and, you know, use the alcohol, and I went to therapy and, you know, took the prescription medication for the depression and everything, and nothing ever worked. So I thought, I'm gonna take control of this and I'm gonna figure out what works for me. And I'm gonna stop listening to people and stop, you know, letting everybody else try and fix the problem that was mine. So basically, where I'm at today is I have a few steps that I wrote down. I have notes here to tell you kind of how I deal with depression. And please don't think that I have conquered depression, because honestly, I think that if you suffer with depression, it's not really like, yeah, that just goes away. You know, it doesn't really go away. I mean, maybe for some people it does, and I don't mean to tell you that to get you discouraged, because there are ways to deal with it that are healthy and they are doable, you know, without having to have all of these things like, you know, medication and, you know, paying for therapy. I mean, it costs a lot of money. Depression costs a lot of money, especially whenever you take the so-called medical professional route, if that's the correct terminology. You know, we're told as humans that, you know, if you're depressed, you need to go to a psychiatrist so that they can prescribe you medication, and, you know, you talk to a psychologist and therapy and all this stuff, and that costs a lot of money. And I know that I can't afford those kinds of things for the rest of my life, you know? I mean, I just can't. And maybe you're like that too. Maybe you can relate. I have found some things that really help me deal with my depression. And I do go through spurts of where things are really, really good, and then sometimes, you know, they delve back into the harder times. And I just want to let you know that life, I hate to say this because it sounds so cliche, and whenever people used to tell me this, I used to get kind of pissed off, to be totally honest, because I don't like to hear things like this, but life is hard and it sucks sometimes. Honestly, it really does. But just because you feel like you can't control the circumstances that you have been put in your life, there's one thing that you can control, and that is the way you deal with things. I never knew, and it seems so simple. You have the ability to control your thoughts. I never knew that. I honestly never did. And that's the really cool thing about life, and the cool thing about being a human is that you can control your thoughts and you can control your actions. So if you learn how to do those things, it makes the depression so much easier to deal with. Also, so you guys know, depression runs really deep in my family. I actually had a cousin that committed suicide years and years ago. There was a time in my life where I thought to myself, you know, it would just be a lot easier if I didn't have to be here. And I never thought of ways to actually commit suicide, and I never had the suicidal thoughts like, oh, I'm gonna do it like this. But there were times where I thought, you know what? How am I gonna do this? How am I gonna deal with life if it's this complicated and this hard, you know? I mean, I personally feel like I was dealt with some pretty serious and complicated circumstances, but I've since learned that I can use those things that I've been through and those hardships and those just times of despair to help people who might be going through the same thing that I went through. I think that that's why I was put in this body. I believe that I was put in this life to help heal people and to speak my truth and to speak what I've been through and to speak my experiences with life and contemplation of death, you know? I mean, for so many years, I just never knew my purpose. And I'm gonna be honest, it's taken me, I'll be 24 this month, and it's taken me almost 24 years to figure out why I was put on this earth and why God put me through all of the terrible things that I was put through. as a child and as a young teen and all of that, and I really believe that this is why. So I'm talking about it right now, and I'm showing you my purpose. So to continue with the video and how to deal with depression, I want to tell you that there are some steps that you can take to try and deal with depression. And if you can just hang on, just hang with me and listen to what I have to say, you might find that some of these things will work for you. Just don't write them off. Don't think, oh, I've already tried that. Just hang in there with me, okay? And let's just listen to what I have to say, because these things saved my life, seriously, and made me happy again. And like I said, there are days that are hard, and sometimes there are weeks that are hard. But you know what? I think with the steps that I have created, I am living the best life that I could possibly live. So, step one. First and foremost, you need to take a look at what you're putting into your body. We are what we eat. I'm sure you've heard that a million times before, but if you're loading your body with all of these horrible fats and just, fried food constantly, fast food constantly, you're gonna get what you're putting in out of your body. Obviously, it comes out of your body. That's not what I mean. I mean, if we're eating foods that are not good for us and they're not nutritional, they're not going to give us the energy or the motivation to do the next several steps on the list. So first and foremost, really try your hardest to eat as good as possible, as nutritional as possible. Believe me, I have Chick-fil-A twice a week usually. I mean, honestly, I try to get the healthier thing on the menu, chicken salad sandwich. Whenever you do have to go to these fast food places, try and get a healthier alternative. Water, just drink water. It doesn't even cost money. Water is the best thing that you can possibly put into your body. So nutritional foods, lots of water, okay? First step. The second part of the first step is, do you get enough exercise? Do you get enough sleep? Listen, you do not have to have a gym membership to be healthy, okay? I had a gym membership one time in my entire life, and I went one time. I have not been to a gym since. Go for a run. Seriously, I have this app on my phone called My Fitness, and I think you get the first couple of runs for free, but it literally trains you for whatever you want. You can train for a 5K. You can add push-ups in there. You could do crunches, ab crunches. There are ways to work out that do not cost money. If you can get your diet and your exercise patterns up to speed, that's half the battle. I honestly feel like that is half the battle. Step number 2, find something to do with your hands in your spare time. Do not allow yourself to just lay around, which, please don't get me wrong, I take naps quite often, okay? I'm not saying, if you're tired, sleep, but don't just sit in front of the TV and watch TV for hours. Find something to do with your hands. Find a hobby. If you love doing makeup, do makeup. If you love to cook, cook. If you love to make things, paint, draw. Find something that is good for your brain. Watching TV, sitting in front of the TV, you don't have to have any kind of mental work going on to watch TV. You're just literally sitting there and your brain is melting. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, it's not healthy to just sit in front of the TV for hours and hours, or in front of your phone for hours and hours. Find something that you love to do. Read a book. Find something inspirational. One of my favorites is The Secret. If you're wanting to improve your life and improve your, thinking and take control of your thoughts, The Secret is an awesome way to start, an awesome one to start with. Take time for yourself. Go get a pedicure, go get a manicure, go sit and hunt, go have time to yourself. Whatever you like to do, try to find some time each month to have some time to yourself. Also, take a bubble bath. Sit in your bathroom floor when everybody's asleep. Meditate. Just be alone in the quiet and just focus on your breathing. Seriously, that has been such a game changer for me. Honestly, you can look up, ways to meditate and all that, but I honestly just sit on the floor, set a timer on my phone, and focus on my breathing and just try not to think anything. Just let it go, let that stress, let the stress out and just get it out of your life, because meditation can really help clear your mind. And you don't have to be, religious to do any of that. Honestly, meditation can be done from anybody and everybody can benefit from it. Okay, if you're having a hard time, make sure you can talk to someone. Grab your phone out, write down some notes, write down notes on a pad of what you're feeling. Get your thoughts out, get your feelings out, whether you're talking to someone or putting it on a piece of paper. If you're doing it in front of a camera, whatever it is, get those thoughts out, because honestly, they're just gonna eat you alive. You have to get them out, okay? If you're having a bad day, listen to some music. Don't listen to sad music. Don't put the crap that makes you really sad on. Make sure you put on some happy, uplifting music. I really like, if I'm in a dancing mood, I really like the Today's Hits radio on Pandora. If I'm in a really chill mood, I really like the John Denver radio station on Pandora, Ed Sheeran radio station on Pandora. I'm sure that they have all kinds of channels dedicated to just happiness. Pharrell has a channel on Pandora called Pharrell's Happiness Radio or something like that, and it's just all songs that are just happy. Just change your mood. Do what you can to change your mood. Don't stay stuck in that rut. Do all you can to pull yourself up on that high flying disc, okay? The good stuff is not going to come down to the lower disc that you're on. You have to bring yourself up so that you can get on the level of the good stuff. Finally, step number 3. Find all natural alternatives to prescription medication. And please, a disclaimer for everybody. This is not me telling you to stop taking your medication. If you are on prescription medication, do not stop taking it, because that can be dangerous. You need, help slowly getting yourself off of that. Next time you go to your doctor, maybe talk to your doctor and tell them, I really want to go the natural route on this. Allow your doctor to tell you, the steps that you need to take to slowly wean yourself off of it, because it can be very dangerous to just stop taking medication like that. But if you're not taking any kind of medication, I would like to suggest a few things that I personally take. Now, the first thing that I take is turmeric, I don't know how you say it. Different people have different ways of saying it, but I take one of these per day, and this has 450 milligrams of turmeric root extract, and it also has 5 milligrams of black pepper fruit extract, and I got this at Sprouts. The next supplement that I take is called Sunny Mood. I also got this at Sprouts. So I take 2 of the Sunny Mood vitamins daily and 1 of the turmeric vitamins daily, and I find that it really helps me. I used to take St. John's wort. That is also something that you can take for depression. If you're having suicidal thoughts, I just want to tell you that please get help. Don't try to treat this on your own. If you're considering suicide, please go to someone and let them know. Don't be embarrassed. Don't worry if you think that people are going to judge you. You need to tell someone if you are feeling so depressed that you don't want to live anymore. Now, I know that I shared my story on how I just felt like not being here anymore would be easier than living here, but life is so worth living, and if you need help getting through that, please make sure you tell someone. The 4th step that's not in my notes, but I feel like I need to talk about, is one of the other ways that helps me with depression, and one of the biggest reasons that I have come to deal with my depression easier as well, is really learning more about my relationship with Jesus. And I am a Christian. I have not really talked about that on my channel because, to be honest, it's taken me a long time to really find confidence in my relationship with Jesus. And I just want to tell you that accepting Jesus and finding God, in your life, it really brings so much hope to your world, you know, in a world that can really seem hopeless and just with, you know, sometimes life can feel like, what's the purpose of it? Finding hope in Jesus can really help you find your way, you know, and even in the darkest days, you know, just because I say I commit my life to Jesus doesn't mean that there aren't going to be hard days, because life is hard, you know. God never said that life wasn't going to be hard, but I can say out of my own personal experience that having Jesus in your life, and when I say having Jesus in your life, I mean like actively wanting to know him and know about him and read about him and just really study his ways, make you feel not so alone whenever you are alone, you know? Praying is not the easiest thing to do, and reading in the Bible is not the easiest thing to do, so I want to share with you some of the things that really have helped me grow closer to God and to Jesus. There's an app that you can get on iPhone or Android, and it's called YouVersion, and it literally is a free app that is a Bible. I recently have finished a few plans. You can research all these different plans. Here's the home screen, and you can just go down here to plans. And if you want to follow me and you want to know the plans, my username is AmberABG11. And you can actually go on my page and you can see like all of the devotional plans that I have finished. The plan that I would suggest most for anyone who is really just trying to find their way in life and trying to see if this whole Jesus thing is for them or not, I would say that, and it happens to actually be written by the senior preacher at the church that I go to. It's a really big church, so he doesn't know me, you know, I don't know him personally, but his name is Andy Stanley, and it says a 7-day devotional by Andy Stanley, and it's called Visioneering, and it looks like this. And this one was the first one that I did. It's not the first one that I started, but it was the first one that I completed. And I highly suggest this one. It says, your guide to discovering and maintaining personal vision, which means like finding your purpose in life, finding God's purpose for you. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I really feel like God has put me in this life and put me through all these hard, horrible things for a reason, because I have learned so much. I mean, with my mom going through all of that stuff when I was really young, you know, I learned so much about life, and just I was able to be humbled at a very young age because I didn't really have much growing up, you know, and when I did get a taste of something, you know, sometimes if I didn't have the right mentality about it, God would take it away and I was left with nothing again. And, you know, it can sometimes seem like, you know, why does God do these things? Like if maybe you've had a family member pass away, you know, sometimes you could think, you know, why would God do this to me? This is so awful. But I just ask that maybe we should look at it in a different way. Maybe if you can just find the positives in it. And I know it's really hard to find positivity in such an awful thing, but maybe there's a lesson that can be learned and something that you can use to help other people and something that you can use to help, like, raise a family. You know, there are values and lessons in everything in life, from the hardest thing to the best thing, you know? I mean, everything is a lesson. Life is just a big lesson, and I just invite you to try to find the positivity in life. And I happen to think that anything that is positive is God, because God is love and love is positivity. So just try to find the positivity in life and the positivity in your brain and in your thoughts, and try to take terrible situations and turn them into, you know, positive things that would make your loved one proud. You know, if you know they're looking down on you from heaven and they're so proud of you because of what you're doing with the hurt that you've had, because everybody hurts just in different ways, you know. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it was so long. I just kind of kept on and kept on and kept on, but if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Join my family here on YouTube and subscribe for weekly videos like this. I also do makeup and, you know, fashion videos as well. So I hope that you could get something from this. If you did get something from this, please leave it in the comments. And if you ever want to talk to me and ask me questions and just get some of your feelings out, if you don't have anybody to talk to, find me on Facebook, Amber Fiorentino. You can message me from there. Instagram, you can message me, you know, personally in the direct message area, and we'll talk about whatever it is you need to talk about. So I'm gonna get off here. It's already been way too long, so I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Amber Fiorentino. I post weekly videos on beauty, self-help, and just random shit that I think is cool. I do vlogs and stuff occasionally, so welcome to our family. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Today, it's not going to be about beauty, it's not going to be about makeup, it's not going to be about anything that I have ever really talked about on my channel, and if I have talked about it, it's been a long time since I've talked about it. When I first started my channel, I was kind of in a dark place in my life when I started my channel. And if you go back and look, you'll see that I really just put the camera on and started talking about things that I was feeling at the moment. And yeah, so that's why I started my channel. So today we're going to talk about depression, and I'm going to start this series called Real Talk. And the first subject that we're going to talk about is depression. And this is not a subject to be taken lightly. Before I get started on ways to deal with depression, just so you guys know, this is all my opinion. This is not professional advice. This is just what I have learned from my own experiences. So please remember, I am not a medical professional. These are just my opinions. So just keep that in mind. A little backstory on my life. So I'm not going to get too deep into it because I am going to do the Draw My Life tag. I'm just waiting on my husband to be able to help me with that, so that should come sometime in January 2017, so look out for that. I had a pretty difficult childhood. Like I said, I don't want to get too deep into it, but I grew up my entire life only meeting my biological father twice. My mom was addicted to hardcore drugs for like the first 10 years of my life. She's since off of those, but the first 10 years of my life were pretty rough, and because of those things that had happened, I dealt with a lot of the repercussions of those things. We were really poor growing up, like really poor. And when I mean poor, I mean like food stamps and, you know, just barely getting by kind of thing. And I'm not trying to talk bad about, you know, my family or anything, because things are very different now, but that is how it was. So I dealt with a lot of anger and confusion and depression and stuff, especially as a young adult and a teenager.